Good hello, everyone. I'm Pyrolis here at Baka-Talk Studios. Joining me today is my two co-hosts. Co-host number one, Boom Chan.
Hello, hello, hello.
And co-host number two, Weezian.
Sup.
So today we're gonna start off with our articles here. We don't really have a what made the internet mad today.
You say articles here, point to the TV screen on an audio-only podcast.
Yes, articles here.
Our
right
articles
here.
right here. Just watch them, and we'll stay silent so you can read them real
So
quick.
let's take a brief moment of pause so that way they can read them, then we can catch up with them.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Seemed to go well.
First
Yeah.
one we're gonna start out with. So I'm not sure how many people heard of this. We're kind of debating whether this made people mad or not, but that's an ad. Anyways, we didn't. It didn't. I'm not sure if people really knew about this or if people just didn't care or what was going on. But a Magic deck got copyrighted. All right, so you may or may not notice a cut there, an abrupt cut. So apparently the GOOGLE device somehow picked up on us and started playing AC/DC. Another One Bites the Dust.
Wait, is that
Is it-
AC/DC?
that's,
That's
Queen.
Queen, Another One
Queen,
Bites the
yeah.
Dust.
I don't know why I said AC/DC.
I just went with it, so I should have known it by then. But anyway, so for some reason started playing that, so we had to cut it for copyright claims. But back to the topic at hand here. See my hand? Topic's this way?
Yes.
Topic at hand. The Magic decks got copyrighted. It wasn't
a Magic
a
deck.
Magic deck. It wasn't a big one. Now, when I say like Magic decks, I mean like someone's layout of a decks. So like you cannot copy this guy's deck.
Right, like he has 4 Baneslayer Angels and then he has 4 Demonic Tutors.
I mean, it's an
Like-
old style of deck, so more than likely it'll be fine. But the implications of this in general, I could go to a tournament, copyright my deck, and then if anyone has a similar deck to mine, I can be like, I copyrighted this deck, I'm suing you, you're out of the tournament.
Well, no, they wouldn't be out of the tournament.
I can still sue them, though.
You could still definitely sue them, and technically there would be validity to win.
Yeah.
I don't think it would shut down somebody just using the same deck.
It would highly discourage them, though.
It would, because especially if they came up against you, the one
Exactly.
person holding the copyright. Or if somebody posted the results, because most Magic tournaments, the results are posted on the internet.
Mhm.
So they looked at the internet or the game results and found out that people are playing their deck. They could just find the person and...
Or
sue
I
them.
could just watch it live, and if I notice that one too many similarities between my deck and his deck, I'm like, you're getting sued, Buckaroo.
Well, you can just ask for people's layout.
Yeah, you can, but I'm like saying like in general, because that's how a lot of stuff works when it comes to copyrights.
Right.
People notice similarities between their product and something else. Like I'm
Or
gonna sue
Google Assistant just starts playing the song in the background.
Yeah, and they try
then
to strike us there.
YouTube filters will pick it up and just
Yep.
totally take down our...
you. Funny how we're talking about copyright and someone was trying to put a stop to us.
Hey, Google was doing it.
This is the work of CERN.
I said Google and I just stared at the device waiting for it to come
It
alive
is
and
the
shoot
work
me.
of CERN.
Oh, man. Okay, well, yeah, that's interesting. What do you think, Wheeze? You play
It's-
Magic more than probably both me and Pyrolis.
It's weird. I don't. Yeah.
I wonder what,
Like
feel
you play on Arena, which is all
Yeah.
digital. It's a game.
what implications would that have on Arena? Do you think there would be any
I
implications on
don't
there?
feel like they could do.
It wouldn't work because you don't own
Anything.
anything.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Like you could technically sell your Arena account.
Yeah.
You could sell it. But
So partially is this
yeah.
only matters for like high level tournament play.
it does.
Yeah.
If anything comes of it. I feel like if he basically this person from what I've seen in the article is like known for just making copyrights of like completely bogus
Oh,
things.
yeah, he is.
Just to show what's wrong with the copyright system.
So is he more just like a anti-copyright?
He's one of
Something
activist?
like that.
He's not anti-copyright. He's just one of those people that like to poke the holes and
Yeah.
the flaws
It's
of
like,
stuff.
look, this thing is broken. Like, I can do this. I
Yeah.
shouldn't
Fix
be able
this.
to just do this. So, because of that,
The issue is with guys like him, though, is it's like showing someone how to break a bank because it's stupid and break into it. Now everyone
Right.
else is gonna
Yeah.
If
look
you
into
hit the
doing it.
vault with the hammer, then it'll pop open, and the next person that's like, "Oh, that's a great idea."
I
I'm
feel
gonna
like if
walk in
they
and do it.
actually took this to court, I feel like the judge would just throw it out and say it's a game. You can't really like say that someone
That
like stole your
depends.
But
thing.
here's the thing: it has a
So-
lot of validity because here's the thing: people invest thousands of dollars into their deck, especially
Yeah.
tournament decks,
Look at
to win a tournament that costs sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars in prize support. I could see this going up in court and somebody saying they stole my copyrighted deck. It
Yeah.
cost me $10,000 to build this deck, and say they got a higher place in the tournament, or if not won the tournament instead of the person that
Yeah.
copyrighted it. They could be like, well, I had the same exact deck, but since he was playing it as well, he actually got the $100,000.
Yeah. I could also see like someone copy someone else's deck and switch out like one card and just say it was my completely original idea. I didn't even see what their deck was beforehand, and now I made this.
the issue is that is they can still get sued though, because like Walt Disney, for example, the man who made the copyright, he basically invented the copyright that way no one could copy Mickey Mouse.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Basically anything that looks similar to Mickey Mouse or anything that was an anthropomorphized animal was taken down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until that issue was fixed.
Right.
The same thing could happen here until
Yeah.
the issue is resolved.
So I feel like not much is going to come out of it. I could see it
No.
like, also from what I know of like the professional Magic thing, it's kind of getting taken down.
Is it?
Like Wizards isn't doing as much. They're doing like a new, from what I've heard, they're kind of getting rid of their current system and they're making like a new system that will have some like high level competitive play, but they're not making it so that this could be like an actual job, whereas people used to like do that for an actual job. So it sounds like they're kind of making that smaller or whatever. So I don't even know what the future of that is, but it's still just, I don't know, it's weird.
I don't think someone's going to do it. I just think it's interesting to talk
Yeah.
about someone doing it and the
He
implications. it could
also
hold.
specifically copyrighted a vintage deck, not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
a
Yeah.
top tier vintage
It was
deck.
also, yeah.
Which
a bad
vintage, for people
deck.
that don't know, is the oldest format that you can play, and it has the oldest cards in Magic. So usually most cards that are played in it are worth $1,000 by themselves.
Yeah.
Like a single card's worth $1,000.
Mhm.
Like the most expensive cards are worth upwards to $5,000 type of thing. So he built a rare vintage deck, so it's not even being played in vintage tournaments. It has no power level to go up against vintage decks.
Yeah.
So it's like he picked the one deck that nobody's ever going to run in a tournament.
Yeah, it's because he was just showing people he
Yeah.
could do it.
So I don't think it's going to have anything to do with the wild world of TCG card gaming at all.
I'm not saying him specifically. I'm saying it could. And it'd be interesting
It
if
could.
it did.
It's also
It would
weird
be.
because you could like there's a comment in the article where it's like you could, if you could copyright this, can you copyright like a loadout from like Call of Duty
Yeah.
professional play, and then say like anyone else who uses this specific loadout is also like stealing my loadout? Like it's kind of the same thing.
It is
So
the
it's
same thing,
weird.
but how many options do you have in Magic the Gathering?
Like
Billions.
infinite.
Options. How many options do you have in Call of Duty, say Black Ops 3?
But
I
that
don't
still
know. You could
comes
still
back.
have a lot of options.
You can.
That
but
still comes back to the whole Disney thing with a drawing. You have
Yeah.
lots of options drawing, yet you still got
Yeah.
sued.
Right, and that's why I think copyrights are good. Because nobody should be just trying to use Walt Disney's drawing, voice-overing it, and trying to make money.
Well,
off
they
of it.
weren't.
But like, yeah, making
I'm not saying they were,
completely
I'm just
new
saying
thing.
nobody should be able to.
No, I don't think someone should be directly stealing something.
Yeah.
But copyright, I don't know. I feel like there should be different regulations on that.
Which is why there's kind of like copyright for anime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For like streaming and like downloading
It's also
stuff
weird to
where they kind of have a
copyright-
problem with people like pirating.
Yeah.
You know? Kind of a big problem.
It's also weird to copyright something like a sequence of cards that you don't own the rights to.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
someone else owns the rights to these cards.
Yeah, I
You
saw somebody make
purchase
that
the
point.
cards, and then you put them in a certain like it's just really really bizarre.
It is bizarre, and it's kind of weird and way over my head for
It's
law.
over my head too.
Like I've looked into copyright a little bit just to make sure that like we
Yeah.
weren't gonna have like our podcast stolen as soon as
Mhm.
it showed a little semblance of like being a actual podcast.
We're going to
Yeah.
get bought up by Sony, aren't we?
No, I just wanted to make sure that somebody couldn't just use the Baka-Talk name.
Yeah.
And like technically we have creative copyright. Whoops. We have creative I forget the exact name of it, but it's basically
Yeah.
creative copyright. Where since we came up with the name first and we use it in this instance, if somebody tried copying our show and using the name, they'd get in trouble for
Take that, Japanese guy from Twitter.
it. Well, he uses it as a username.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
he can't get in trouble, and I'm not gonna. I don't think I'd ever sue him. Now, if we maybe got 100 billion, not 100 billion,
100
like
billion.
50 million subscribers or something like that, I
I'm
might
suing
come
him.
to the dude and be like, "Hey, can I pay you out and use your username?"
Yeah.
I was gonna straight up
I think
sue him.
Twitter will sometimes let you like get the actual name too.
Oh yeah, like be the verified
Yeah, they'll give
version
you
of
like
it.
the
Yeah,
verified whatever. So
That's interesting.
yeah, especially if you get that big, then they're just like, okay.
yeah. I'm not doing good on podcast edit. I just dropped something and I smacked the mic.
Yeah. Well, that's
I'm
fine.
going to put my hands on my lap, and yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. You do that.
Yep.
I don't know who's gonna move over to the next article.
Yeah,
I also need to do.
I can move to the next article. Boom.
So next thing we're talking about, I think this is more of a wheeze and boom thing, but the
More
one,
like a wheeze thing.
the one
Don't put
man's-
me in this.
the one man's who made the anime known as the Slam of Dunk has come out of the hiatus.
So this guy made Vagabond, who is one of those like
He made the manga.
he's
Vagabond.
like the manga Vagabond. It doesn't have an anime adaptation at all. So that's one of the three like really big like it's on hiatus and it's like always on hiatus and everybody wants it to end because it's been going on forever and it's like really highly respected, but it hasn't finished. This guy was really big into basketball also, and Vagabond's like completely different story, but he was into basketball and he wrote Slam Dunk, which was so popular it made basketball popular in Japan. Like it was in Japan before, but he made it like really, really popular.
That's kind of
Where
freaking
like
cool.
yeah, like
Basketball was inspired by Weebs. Take that.
pretty much. Like it was so popular that like basketball started becoming more popular just because of this manga. So he's writing and directing the anime, which is interesting because he is a manga artist. And so he's making another Slam Dunk anime thing. I don't really care, but I think it's interesting because it's a really popular show. And also because he hasn't worked on Vagabond in like 6 years or something.
Well, he's been doing this for the past 6 years.
So apparently, and I know he took a break from like writing manga for a while. I think he got burnt out, and his art is also really, really good. So it's one of those things where he probably puts a ton of time into it, and so burns himself out.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's making another Slam Dunk anime, so that's cool. But maybe he'll start working and finishing Vagabond, and he also has what's the name of it? He has another basketball anime too.
Were you about to say Fruit Basket? Just out of
No, I was
curiosity?
thinking
Okay.
about saying Free. It's Real. It's
Okay.
called Real. So like Real he's been working on, and then Vagabond. And he's already finished Slam Dunk, and apparently he wrote Buzzer Beater.
I don't know what buzzer beater is.
Well, he wrote, but Vagabond's been on hiatus since 2015.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time, and it's a really well-loved series. So it's
that's cool.
interesting. Maybe he'll come back to working on that, but right now he's making an anime, so good for him.
Okay, this is kind of a dark thought, but I
Yeah.
kind of have to say it because it popped in my head.
Uh-huh.
The death of the creator of Berserk.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it maybe had something to do with some of these people that have been having long hiatuses? Do you think maybe they started thinking about like their works and like maybe I don't want to die with like the one thing I was completing in life, like it not being completed?
It could be. I think this one is different because it's an anime, so it's probably been in the works for a while for him to like
right, but no,
work
he
on
came out of hiatus.
But like he still hasn't come out of hiatus for Vagabond.
Oh, well, never mind then. It would be cool if
So
he did
if
come
he
out.
did, that would be sweet, but it would probably be after he works on this.
Right.
So
Wait, is the main character of this anime here, is he red-haired?
Yes.
And the
Looks
main
like
character
it.
of Haikyuu is also red-haired.
Yes.
yeah.
Hmm.
Copyright.
Besides, for this dude looks a lot more ripped than the dude.
That doesn't matter.
in
They're
IQ.
both carrot tops. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's something about red hair in anime.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Last thing that we have is just Star Wars Visions put out a trailer, and it looks sweet.
They did do that. Indeed, they did.
I don't know. I'm super hyped for it. Just anime and Star Wars put together. Sounds
All right,
amazing.
this one I actually have some words for. So
All right.
the Star Wars Visions, like
Try not to cry.
I don't know, like I don't know why that's on the TV. Just a second. There we go.
Wait a minute. What was that one?
That was all my files.
Oh my goodness. I think I saw what I think I
Anyways,
saw.
so Star Wars Visions, like I don't know if anybody's that listens to this has seen Halo Legends, but Star Wars Visions gives me so many Halo Legend vibes. Like it seems like it's basically like Legends, but like 1,000 times more budget with like an actual good like studios behind them and stuff. Like Legends had good anime studios, but like nothing like what
They have
we're
the
seeing
voice
now.
of Boba Fett.
Yeah. Like, dude, I don't know. Just the trailer itself was insane.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Like every single movie that they showed in the trailer, I want to watch.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, well, maybe I don't want to watch the romance one. Maybe I won't be as interested in it. But like, I want to watch all of them now.
Yeah.
Every single one. I want to watch them multiple times. I want to watch them subbed. I want to watch them dubbed.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch them both. I'm gonna watch this so many times. I like how they use force powers a lot, and they can like, because they're not making this so that it like fits within canon or
Right.
whatever. They're just like, do whatever you want. So like the stories are all over the place. Some of them, like there's one that has like Boba Fett and maybe some other like legacy characters.
Right.
But all of the other ones are completely like new characters, new stories, new worlds and everything, which is really cool.
It's awesome. And I see like not shoutbacks, but throwbacks to like older things in Star Wars. Like there's the bunny like type race that they're gonna be showing in one movie. There's I don't know, everything looks like it's drawn to be like the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like it's not redrawn to be more anime, and it's also not redrawn to be completely different. It looks like they're taking Star Wars and just moving it into this art form that's going to be able to represent the force powers a lot better, the combat 1,000 times better. And I don't know, even some of the voice acting, I feel like the way anime is able to portray emotions with like the way they do the drawing and the way the voice acting's put out, I feel like it's going to be even better than like Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Easily.
It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
All the movement and like the characters, just like I love the over the top like ridiculous stuff too. Like the one like trigger show that looks insane.
Dude, like in that one scene in the trailer where they're loading the lightsaber, and it sounds like they're loading like a shotgun or something. It's amazing. The sound effects to this.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
And like when
there's one of them that looks a little weird that's like a 3D CG thing, but it also has a cool look to it.
Even that, it reminds me of like somebody tried animating the Berserk chapters.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that.
Like the shading and like the cell
it looks
animation.
Really interesting.
It looks good.
But even though it looks like I'm just worried it might look a little janky. Even if it does, like the style of it and everything, it still looks really cool. And like in the stuff in motion looked really good. But like the first scene that we saw in the trailer is like he swings a lightsaber at it and he like catches it with the force like in his hands right in front of him. So like stuff like that is just really cool. It's like the old like catch the sword between your hands.
No, that's so cool.
So like just
and we've seen that
crazy stuff.
We've seen that in the Old Republic. The MMO trailers where like Jedis were catching like lightsabers in their hands and stuff. Like it's cool.
And so it's cool having them just go kind of off the rails with just whatever they want and like crazy ridiculous force powers. So it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. I'm just hoping they're decent length.
I want them to be more than 30 minutes.
Yeah. I
will take 30 minutes, but if they're shorter than that, I'm gonna feel kind of ripped off.
I hope they're all like an hour long because that would be sweet.
Yes.
5 minutes each.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, the average anime movie nowadays has becoming like 2 hours.
Yeah.
at the minimum like an hour and a half. So like if we get 45 minutes to an hour, I will be happy.
Yeah.
And there's 9 of them, so that would be amazing. I just hope they don't release one at a time.
I'm pretty sure they're dumping all of them.
I want them to all be dumped. Like,
I don't
think I could take watching one.
Yeah.
And then having to wait a week to watch
also,
another.
like, I understand releasing one at a time with, like, episodes of, like, Loki or Bad Batch or whatever, where it's, like, they want to keep the hype up, so everyone's, like, every week come here and then talk about the episode, and then, you know, so it gives more, like, hype and hype. Otherwise, it's just, like, everybody binges it one day, and then, like, nobody talks about it.
Well, here's the problem with that, though. Like, on a streaming site, when they release episode by episode, I didn't realize that Bad Batch went up to episode 15.
Oh, yeah.
I stopped at episode 12.
Oh.
Because they got done with the Ryloff two-parter, and I was like, oh, it's just done. Like, I'm waiting for season 2. I log on to Disney Plus the other day. I'm like, why is there 4 more episodes?
I think there's 16 in total.
Is there 16? Yeah, it's like 15 or 16.
It had a good finale. It was a good
good
ending. Yeah, definitely worth watching.
I saw Tarkin's in it, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be cool.
So,
but
yes.
What did you think? Do you think they went too far with the lightsaber?
No, I don't think you can go too far. You can't go too far.
I didn't think either, but I'm interested to see it.
I'm interested in, like, there's also, like, the one lightsaber that's, like, wrapping around the other kid's lightsaber, and that one, like,
I
crazy
saw that. I was
one.
like, what the heck is going on?
At first it was like, is that like a Force thing? But I'm pretty sure that's just like whip lightsabers.
Well, we've seen that in the Clone Wars.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It's gonna be cool.
We'll see how insane it goes, but I'm glad they're like going crazy. I want to see like some insane
stuff.
If
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle this.
Yeah, it's too epic.
I might have a heart attack halfway through.
Yeah,
you're about to have a heart attack right now. What are you talking about halfway through?
I'm gonna have a heart attack right now. Well, it's giving me even like Evangelion flashbacks too, like the way the animation stuff is, and like I don't know the hype.
Is that a segue into?
Sure. Maybe. I don't know.
Evangelion is done. It ended.
Evangelion is done. The final movie came out.
It did. It came out the 12th, a day after we recorded our last episode. So
yeah.
I watched it. You guys will never probably ever watch it.
What did you think of it?
It was amazing.
I thought it was pretty good.
You watched it?
I did watch it.
You seriously watched it?
I watched it today.
Nice.
Really?
Yes.
You know how happy I am right now?
And I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was decent. Like,
oh my god.
I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine.
Nice. You actually liked it?
I did like it.
Did you understand it at all?
I didn't understand much of it, and that was kind of the point. I watched it because I wanted to surprise you on this podcast and start talking about it. And also because I wanted to make a YouTube video about watching Evangelion with no context.
First of all, that's great content. I'm gonna be excited to actually watch that video. 2, I'm so happy that you actually watched it.
It was pretty fun. The action, the CGI did look a little janky at times, but I understand it's kind of just their weirdness at that point. But it was weird because some CGI looked really, really good. And then other CGI just looked absolutely horrible.
Absolutely horrible.
And then there were scenes where the 2D animation was like so amazingly, like breathtakingly beautiful.
Dude, like the whole scene.
The animation was just like all over the place. It was,
right. The whole
crazy.
Like the village scene with like Rey and stuff, like that whole animation, like that whole part of the movie was amazing to watch. Like, I don't know.
So,
like, the way it ended too, like it actually ended satisfactory.
It did, yeah. I thought it had a satisfying ending.
It was good.
Yeah, I didn't understand like most of it, and there was a lot of things that like I don't know if it's explained in the other movie or if it just came out of nowhere, because there's so many things.
At the other movie.
Okay, because there's so many things. Also, just the fact that like the last movie one of the last movies ended with him like causing the near third impact or whatever. So like everybody's blaming him and talking about that with stuff, and it's just like, okay. Also, like at the beginning it was interesting because I was like, what happened to him? Because he's acting like the way he's acting, then how everyone's like interacting with him and talking to him, it's like also everyone's like grown up.
Yes.
And he's still young, so it's just like I don't understand anything what's going on, and I'm interested to find out, and you never find out.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, because you actually have to watch
the other.
At the very least, you have to watch episodes. You at least have to watch movie 2 and 3.
Okay.
Because if you don't, you understand nothing about what they read.
It showed a recap at the beginning of the movie.
And that doesn't
and
do
it
anything
doesn't
for
show
you.
you anything.
The people that have watched the series, that
The
recap
just
bounces
helps you
everything
remember.
back to your memory. But as soon as you start watching it and you've only seen the first series, you're like, this is a lot different.
Yeah, makes
like
sense.
I don't know how much I want to say without spoiling it because it's so new. But
yeah, it was good. I thought it was fun, even though I didn't understand most of it. It was like fine.
So what did you actually think about the characters this time? Because you hate the characters in the original Evangelion.
I still don't love Shinji, but he was tolerable.
Honestly, I was yelling at Shinji in the beginning.
Shinji was pretty annoying. Like at first, it was just like, okay, what's making him this way? What's his problem? And then also, like, I don't really like Shinji's development in anything I've seen in Evangelion. He just kind of goes from like he's either depressed or he's just like fine. Like there's no like moving in the right direction. He's just like completely down or he's just like completely fine. So
I almost want to stop right here and just go over the last 3 movies for you because if I explain them, I feel like you would love this movie.
I'd probably like it more. But
I feel like me and you need to watch the other 3 movies.
The other part, this might be a spoiler, but like when he gets to the part where he's like, okay, I'm gonna go pilot the Ava now, and then just like the next thing I know, he's just in the Ava like fighting his dad. And it was like, when did what? Also the collars, like I don't understand the chokers at all. That's just kind of a thing where
that's like, a new thing that happened in episode 3.
Okay.
So all of this is 14 years in the future.
Okay.
So what happened in episode 1. It's normal Evangelion.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit different. Like you don't see Asuka as soon and stuff.
Okay.
Episode 2, it's different because the second impact gets started.
Okay.
So he creates the second impact by trying to save Rei. So in the original series, Rei kind of dies.
That's kind of what I saw from the flashbacks and stuff because Misato was like yelling at Shinji to like do whatever
follow his dreams and stuff. Because he actually fell head over heels for Rei.
Okay.
So he was like actually trying to do something for once, which was different than the original series. Kind of fails. Kind of gets shot up into space. Kind of melds with the Eva. And then in episode 3, it's 14 years in the future. And like the world's dealing with like the second impact kind of halfway going on. Where like the world's kind of like torn apart.
Mm-hmm.
But Nerve and then Masato kind of start her own organization to fight Nerve. So she brings back Shinji to kind of help fight against Nerve, but really he actually ends up going back to Nerve and then activating the full third impact.
The worst choice she made.
Yeah, kind of.
Wasn't Rei like Shinji's dead mom? Like cloned dead? Yeah, that's what I was
She's the clone dead mom.
Confirm.
You know what? I think this is far enough away from the original release. It's gonna be 2 weeks after by the time this is released.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say it. Rei is clones, of course, like in the original series, but then Asuka becomes clones as well in this, which is why they changed her last name.
That I noticed was different too. It's like it seems like none of the characters are actually the same characters. They're all like clone versions. Is Shinji still Shinji?
Yes.
Okay.
Shinji is still Shinji.
What about the one guy that's like the angel?
He is still the angel.
Is he still the angel?
He's a little bit different though, because so what it basically confirms, as far as I can tell, this is open to debate, but the rebuilds is what happens after End of Evangelion. The world gets reset because instead of like the original series where Shinji is like, I want a world without Evangelions and I want to be happy. Yeah. That's what happens in the episode 24 and 25.
Okay.
So that's where you get the congratulations and the big happy scene. And then you have End of Evangelion, where it's a different path where he decides that he doesn't want to be happy or he decides that he can't be happy. So you get the full second impact or the full third impact. I forget what End of Evangelion is. I think it's third impact. Anyways, the world ends and that's where you get the beach scene, basically. Yeah. Well, this is the time loop of basically it happening all over again, but then at the end of the movie, at the end of Thrice Upon a Time, he actually fixes it and actually goes back to original timeline.
Okay.
Which is why at the end of the movie, you see him all grown up and stuff.
And then he's with the new
Mari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was really fun in like the very first thing,
Yeah.
where she's just like spinning around with guns, just going.
She's amazing. I kind of hated her in the other movies.
Yeah.
But then she got really good in this last one. And it's really cool too because if you look in the photograph of Shinji as a baby, you see Mari in the corner. She's one of the original groups that was with Gendo and his mom. So she became an EVA pilot, didn't age anymore because that's what happens to EVA pilots, why they're all younger and everybody else is older. And she was waiting for Shinji, basically. That's why there's that whole thing, I'll wait for you until like the end of time or whatever.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, Shinji's dad actually is interesting in this. Because
He
it
is
actually
awesome.
directly goes over like the reason he's doing everything, which is what I didn't like. It kind of explains it, but it's so vague in like the original series. It's just kind of like he's just kind of ending the world just because.
Yeah.
So then like you get in this, you actually get him like explaining, this is what I was thinking through all this stuff, and you're like, okay, that actually makes sense why he's like trying to do what he's trying to do.
It makes a lot more sense.
And then he kind of gets like a sad ending with like failing. And then also just there's so many things, especially not knowing any of the other movies, that just like are out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, they meet his dad, she shoots him in the face, and then he's just like, I'm a god now. It's like, okay, and he like takes off this goggle
As the
things.
person that watched the rebuild, I was confused by that as well.
Okay.
I was like, what happened?
Okay,
where's
so
his
there
eyes?
are some things that are just like, yep, I'm a god now. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, it's Evangelion, so you kind of expect
It is,
that.
yeah. There's just a lot of random things like that where it's just like, this is just like, it doesn't really explain how the world works. It just kind of throws you into the world and has everyone else know what's going on except you. So they're just like, oh no, you didn't do that. And he's like, yeah, I did it. And I'm just like, what did he do?
I mean, I could see that actually be a really interesting viewing experience.
Yeah.
It'd be really frustrating for me, though.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, I'm pausing this and I'm watching the other movies.
So yeah, it was interesting.
Cool.
The beginning's weird because the first half, like nothing happens,
Right.
and then
But
Ray
in all
just blows
actuality,
up.
in all actuality, a lot happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's like they're just kind of like sitting, like there's no action. They're just kind of like hanging out and like talking, and like Shinji's mental state's dealt with and different things. And then Ray blows up, which I didn't understand either. Just comes out of nowhere. She's just like, oh, I have to go now. And then just boom. And he's like, no. And it's like, okay.
So what happens? It's weird.
And it seems it also happened to the angel boy.
Yes. No, that did not happen to the angel boy.
Okay.
What happened to the angel boy is the collar.
Yeah.
That was originally on Shinji, because the problem was they found out that if Shinji was in Eva Unit 1 or in Eva Unit 13, which is created to be a replacement for Eva Unit 1, he would initiate the third impact. Or the fourth impact by this time. So they put a collar on him that registered as soon as he activated an Eva, it would explode his head.
Oh, okay.
What Karu did is they had that whole scene kind of like they had in the original series where they kind of like were falling in love or whatever. Well, he took the collar off of him with his angel powers or whatever, put it on himself, and he was like, okay, we can still pilot the Eva, but I'll die instead.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is they're both piloting Eva Unit 13 together, and Shinji watches Karu actually die in the process.
Okay.
Which kind of fricks him up mentally, which is why you see him just kind of...
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then like with... and that kind of... The same thing kind of happened before that too, because Rei died. He went to save Rei, and she just died. So then you get the new clone, which is Rei kind of... which is new Rei that turns into Fanta at the end. So like Shinji is happy, Rei dies. Sad, but then happy because Karu comes back, Karu dies.
Okay.
And then gets happy again and is just about to like kind of be his normal self, and then new Rei dies. And then he's like, fine, I'm freaking fed up with this. I'm gonna go do something about it. Finally, after 4 movies. So you're just staring at me like I'm an alien right now.
No, I just this is the equivalent of me talking about Tarkov or anything gun related to
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's it was interesting. Like it was just funny because there were so many things I just have no idea what's going on, and Ray's
Yeah.
just like, well, I can't be here for very long. I guess I'm like broken now because
I was confused by that.
apparently she has to be in nerve.
Yes,
or
that's what I
whatever
understood.
in order to survive. So then she just goes,
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense that they wouldn't want the clones to go too far away from
makes sense.
the activation point for the impact.
Yeah.
Because that's their whole function. And then I was kind of confused by Asuka's, like, angel powers. Like, I know she got infected. So in the rebuilds...
yeah, the eye thing. When
in
she
the
takes off
rebuilds,
the eye patch and
yeah,
the thing comes
she
out of her eye.
pulls out the monolith.
Yeah, that also comes out of nowhere because it's just like, whoop.
So in the original series, the one boy actually gets recruited to be like the fourth child and pilot the Eva, but then like the Eva turns out to be an angel, and like Shinji has to go like berserk and like rip apart the angel and stuff, and he kind of gets severely hurt. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Instead of it being the boy, it's Asuka going to test pilot a new Eva. The Eva apparently gets infected by an angel, and that's what happens to her.
Huh.
So she gets infected and becomes an angel, part angel. But then it turns out she's just clones? So, like, when she kind of dies in the Eva, she becomes, like, they clone her.
Okay.
Kind of like what they did with Rey. So, yeah. So, they're both clones at that point. Because they both technically die because they were in angels.
This thing that comes out of her eye, and then
because that
it gives
pillar
her angel powers.
No, that was
that
stopping.
pillar kept her from becoming an angel.
Right, because if you remember in the village, there was the giant pillars keeping the impact away.
Okay, so then she removes that, becomes an angel. It also seemed like her Ava was like contained. Also by like the armor thing too, and so then it like broke free of that, which was kind of
cool.
Well,
in the second movie, her Ava was completely destroyed basically. Besides for like the head and like one arm.
Okay.
And yes, it was kind of being contained because they kind of rebuilt a non-angel unit.
Okay.
Around that Ava, because both the Ava and Asuka were kind of infected with the angel. So.
Okay. And then she does that, and then tries to stab the thing, and then fails.
She fails, and then she ends up becoming the triggering effect for the fourth impact.
Okay.
Which is where you see the giant wave of...
But then Shinji's just like, I have infinite power, so I'm just gonna reset everything. But except, it seems like Rey and Asuka are still dead, though.
Yes, because they're clones.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, they're dead.
It seems like he didn't quite reset. Like, he reset the world, he didn't reset, like, what happened, kind of. Like, the people that died are still dead, but... As
far as I can tell, I'm going to rewatch the movie and find out if I can figure out what happens. Because that kind of
seems like what the ending is where it's like, you did fix the world where there's no Avas anymore, but you also, like, all these people died around you still.
Well, it kind of makes sense, because if they're both clones... Yeah. It would make no sense for Nerve to make clones if there's no Avas.
Also, they could just be... Well, Rey definitely doesn't exist because... There's no cloning, there's no Avas and anything. Yep. Rey could just be in Germany or whatever.
That you know what? That's actually probably what happens, because as far as I know, it's kind of like a Madoka Magica effect where the world just kind of gets reset.
So then he wouldn't have ever met her, but he would have met the other one because they went to the same
they would
school.
Meet Mari. So, and then you also see Karu and you see Karu and you see Rey at the end by the train. So you see the two.
Oh, do you?
The only one I don't think you see is Asuka. Which would make sense because Asuka would be in Germany.
Yeah.
So I think that's how it goes. But I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to rewatch it.
Yeah.
And then I'll be able to probably write a whole like book on it. So.
Yeah. It was still a fun movie.
Cool. I'm glad you watched it.
There was a ton of action. Like, action scenes just went on forever, which it didn't seem like it had that much in like the show or the like first movie.
Yeah.
It seemed more just like
the rebuilds were much more action based.
Yeah, they definitely had a ton of action in it.
Yeah.
And a ton of CGI fights.
Yes, a lot of them. There's so much CGI in this. Yeah. I was kind of disappointed with that, but
Yeah,
It was okay.
I probably would have liked less CGI, but
Yeah.
some of the CGI looked pretty good.
You know what we need to do? We
It's
need to take a break.
time.
We're way over break time, actually.
Yeah, but
So,
we
yeah.
just finished talking about Evangelion. So next.
I was happy with you, and now I'm totally mad at you.
We'll
again.
talk about something else after the break.
Sounds good.
Break time.
At time.
All right, and we're back, ladies and gentlefolk. So, how was your guys' break?
It was fine. It was
Okay.
short. I drank
Alright.
some water.
That's good. Water is good. Stay hydrated.
I forgot I was in front of the mic. I'm good.
That's good. That's good. All right. So now we're gonna be. I think Weez wants to make some comments on the most wholesome anime on Earth.
So I finished watching Made in Abyss, and I still have the movie, which I'm super hyped to watch.
You have
But I-
2 movies now.
Oh yeah, I think there's a second series of it coming out too.
Is there?
But
That's
there's
sweet.
there's a trilogy of movies. There's like the 2 recap ones, and then the third one that like continues the story.
There's a
Made in
lot of
Abyss.
anime that do that.
So yeah, it is weird. So anyways, Made in Abyss is really, really good. It's really wholesome. It just has some like, slightly dark tones and some of the most like disturbing thing I've ever seen in any anime. But for the most part, it's still very wholesome and fun.
All right, so since we're a family-friendly podcast, you should do an audience warning on the most disturbing thing that you could find in Made in
So
Abyss.
it's not super
None of it's disturbing.
super disturbing.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit like disturbing, but it's just one of those like kind of like dark backstory things, where just the rest of it's super fun. It's like shonen style. So, anyways,
You totally did not go into anything that was actually dark about it.
what
Like you should give an audience warning on like what's actually dark about it.
what do you mean,
Like,
audience
what
warning?
happened?
So I'll explain what happened. So first, the main character. So it's like this girl who's kind of normal, and then this robot boy
Right.
who's got like superpowers. So he's like protecting her through the abyss.
Astro Boy ripoff.
Yeah. So they get further into the abyss, and they get to this point where this giant monster that can like see into the future and predict their movements goes to kill them.
Oh.
And the boy realizes the only way to get out is up. Well, how the abyss works is the curse only works when you go up. It doesn't work going down. So you can go down to the depths of the abyss and be fine, but as you start to go up, the effects happen. So the first layer was like nausea, and then it gets like worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
They're at the level where you start bleeding out of every hole in your body, basically.
Nice.
Like your eyes,
Oh.
your nose, your mouth, your ears, you'll just start like bleeding out of.
Nice.
So, the like monster's there, and it's got like a deadly poison that will kill you, and it'll just like swells up your body. So the monster attacks him. He uses like this relic that's like an umbrella to like shield.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't block all of the things, and she gets stabbed right through the hand. So
Ow.
he grabs her, realizes the only way out is up, goes up, and so he's Robot Boy, so he doesn't get affected. She starts bleeding out of the eyes and mouth and ears and nose, and then is choking on that. Meanwhile, her arm is swelling up, and she's gonna die from the poison. So the first thing they do is they tie it off, like super tightly,
Okay.
and then she has him break her arm and then start cutting her arm off. Otherwise, the poison's gonna get to her. And she doesn't have him cut it off at the elbow because she wants to keep adventuring. So she tells him to do that, and he starts doing that, and he like can't get a good cut in, and he's like having a hard time, just messing her up, and he's just like crying, and then she stops breathing, and so he's like freaking out and crying, and then this furry comes up, and the furry saves them. So the furry like gets all the stuff and heals her and shows her like, you didn't like, I have these things that can help heal her hand and all this stuff. So she eventually heals her, and they save her and save her hand, although she had to like cut through some of the nerves, so like stitching up wasn't great. So she lost some feeling in her hand. So anyways, for a really long time she's unconscious, and then you find out the backstory of the furry and this other thing, which is this little blob monster that's in her house.
Okay.
And the blob monster used to be a human. And what happens is the layer below them, the effects of going up is death or the loss of humanity. So when you
Oh.
lose your humanity, you become this like blob thing. So anyways, what happened was she was part of an experiment where they took children and they tried to move all of the effects of the curse on one child and let the other child get out so they'd be able to explore deeper.
Right.
So basically they do this. She gets to see her friend turn into a blob monster in front of her, and then she just got enough effects to make her like a furry, but she still has thought and she can still like talk and everything. The blob thing cannot. It just goes.
It's that thing we saw on the science site.
Yeah.
So after that they find out, and so this is all of Bone Druid, who's a beautiful man and such a nice father who's taking care of all these orphans and just doing these like slight experiments on them, but mostly he's taking care of them. He's a really nice guy and he's like really pleasant in the way he talks and stuff. So, and he like thanks them for like helping him with his experiments and stuff. He's a really nice guy. So anyways, he experiments on the blob monster and realizes that it's now immortal. So the curse affected it so much that it lost its humanity to the point that it cannot die. So he tried killing it over and over and over again, and it just regrew back to what it was. And the only thing that hurt it was like this certain kind of weapon, which is what Robot Boy has. So the furry asked Robot Boy to kill the blob that she lives with, because nothing can kill it, and she's stuck in her soul is stuck in this perpetual state of torment in this blob. And if Furry dies, which she will eventually, then the blob is just going to be alone for the rest of eternity.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Very wholesome. I like this
so
so far.
it actually made me tear up when Robot Boy had to blast her away and completely destroy her. And then the girl who the blob was like got on top of her while she was sleeping, and she had this dream where she was like, she felt like dark and stuff because she got like the curse and different things, but she had a dream where there was another person next to her that she saw that was even more torment than she was and was like suffering a lot. And then once he blasted her dream went, that all went away and she was like fine again. So it was super nice and wholesome. How sweet. So then the movie's about them going down to the level Bone Druid's at, so I'm super hyped.
So do you need help?
No.
Blink twice if somebody's holding you captive, because
No.
they're making you watch stuff that you probably mentally should not be watching.
No, it was great. It was really nice and wholesome moment of a boy, saving the blob thing that was left over, and Bone Druid is just, I think he's just misunderstood. He might have a few issues. But
So wait, the level he's at, he can't go back up to the surface because he would die.
So there are some relics that allow you to like get past, because one thing that happened was the main character, she was born in the abyss.
Right.
So if she goes up, she's gonna die. She's a baby. What happens is there was a relic, and they put her in the relic, but she was actually stillborn. And so they put her in the relic, and it actually brought her back to life.
That's cool.
So like that relic, she was told earlier that the relic was used to eliminate the curse, but what it actually did was it just brought her back to life completely.
Right, because she was dead probably by the time she went up to the surface.
Yeah, she was. What happened was they were down there, and it was with her mother and another lady, and they were both trying to bring her back up. Yeah. And they actually had another really important relic that they had to leave behind because they were trying to bring her back up.
You explained this last episode, I believe.
Yeah, so because of that, so that was kind of interesting where the relic actually brings her back to life. But there's different relics that'll save them. So all of the white whistles, which are the highest rank, they can go as far as they want. They can go wherever they want, which is what Bone Druid is.
Right.
And what her mother was. they usually have like this crazy like armor set up. Like you don't even see Bone Druid's face because he's got like this thing.
Oh,
on.
so like he's just covered in relics.
So
and stuff
I'm
then.
not sure if he can go past that level or not and come back and be fine. I don't know if his suit saves him, because it seems like he's at the level right before that happens, and then he's testing by like lowering this thing down and then going back up and then seeing what happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, death or loss of humanity's kind of messed up.
Seems like that'd be the bottom, honestly.
Yeah, I think it goes deeper though. It's insane. Also, her mother is like, I'm waiting for you at the bottom of the abyss. Also, it seems that time seems to work differently. At least like it seems to the person, where it's like, I've only been here a week and you've been there like years in the abyss.
Oh, wow.
So, there's just a lot of like really crazy weird things in the abyss. It's a really cool world.
I am watching this show.
It's a good show. Definitely worth watching.
I'm gonna add it to my list.
Bone Guard should do?
Yeah.
Hey, traveler, want to try this armor? It's pretty cool. Okay, now walk up that plank.
Yeah.
All right, get back here. I want the armor back.
Pretty much, yeah. But it was pretty great. So, highly recommend the show.
Yeah,
Made
that's
in
cool.
Abyss. It gets really good. I'm excited for the movie too.
The movie
watch
looks
it.
good too. I don't know. This whole thing looks cool.
Bone Druid is he's a beautiful man. I want to look up the thing so I can show you. If you
There's only 13 episodes.
Yeah, if you search Made in Abyss Loss of Humanity, you'll see the thing that you become when you lose your humanity.
Oh, hey, that's not
Nice.
a blob.
That's
That's not a blob.
Yeah, it's like
oh my.
It's
It's adorable.
That I don't feel bad that it died.
It's adorable.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up. You actually like its mouth is kind of like open, like its jaw just goes like vertically, kind of.
It's
and so
an
it, like,
elite
flops
baby.
open. She gets to see that happen, like while they're going up. She gets to see her just like her eyes like bulge out, and then they're just like mouth splits open. It's kind of messed up.
That's not traumatizing whatsoever.
Oh, totally not.
So yeah,
I'd be perfectly okay after seeing
no,
that.
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and then,
same.
But it might be a little dark, but then it's like super wholesome after that because of all the good things that happen.
Right.
It's really nice. Just like what happens to the girl, where she starts like bleeding out of her eyes and mouth, and then she gets saved later, and it's really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very wholesome. Totally gonna watch it.
Very
And I'm gonna
sweet.
give my own wholesome review on it,
Yeah.
just to see if we contradict at each other.
Yeah. So that'll be great.
Yeah.
Sounds very nice.
Well, I think that's about it for all the random stuff we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Do we talk about Lucky Star?
Lucky
Star.
Season 1, Episode 2.
Episode 2.
So, Pyrolus, did you feel offended at all during this episode?
Why would I?
I don't know.
I felt great. I related very much to the blue-haired girl.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I pretty much
You
stand my
didn't, you
computer for
didn't
that
feel
long.
like targeted as like a weeb like demographic or anything like that?
No one called me smelly and that I smell weird and I should take off my glasses and live a real life.
That is true. I mean, Faye from Cowboy Bebop did sell you that.
She
so.
did.
How about you, Wheeze? Did you feel offended at all?
No, I liked it.
Great.
The one joke of like the kind of running joke throughout it is just showing like different people's lives at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one was like, we just partied the whole time of this like vacation. We were just like doing fun things. I never got any studying done. My sister didn't either, and she's like, "Oh no, I got studying done." It's
Right,
like I got pretty much all caught up. She's like, "How?" And then it shows day by day, and she's sleeping until noon, and then the other one's like doing work. Then she wakes up. They both go do fun things together.
Yeah.
Then it comes nighttime, and then the one girl keeps studying at night, and she falls asleep before the other one. So the one's like sleeping like 14 hours a day, and the other one's getting like 8 hours and studying the rest of the time. So
How does it feel to find your
it was amazing.
co-part?
I know. It's like I feel this feels like me and my girlfriend. Just I'm the one that's sleeping all day, and
You
then
sleep for 14 hours and she sleeps
and
for 8?
she randomly texts me and it's like, "Are you awake yet?" I'm like, now I am.
Where there's like me and Pyrolus where we sleep for maybe 4 hours a night.
If I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Especially recently.
Yeah.
And then like we are working for 10 hours a day. Me probably more because I do a bunch of podcasting stuff.
So yeah, I related a lot to her because that's how I felt.
I related to the one purple-haired girl where she got up, did her work, and then actually went to bed at like a late time.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I understand
I
that.
felt like the purple-haired girl that just sleeps until noon and then it's like, good morning.
I related to the blue-haired girl the most.
Blue-haired girl was amazing.
Just playing her computer all day.
And then realizing,
Yeah.
oh wait, isn't there something I gotta do?
Because they did that too, where they did the like split screen again. So blue-haired girl's just like there, and then purple-haired girl, the one that sleeps all the time, I think, was like thinking about
How she's going to complete
I need
her
to do
assignments.
studying. Yeah, I've got like
Yeah.
this much work to do. I have all this stuff to do. But then just like keeps putting it off. Blue-haired girl just doesn't even think about it. And then at the very end is just like, oh.
And she's like, can I copy your homework?
That's the second time she's asked that.
It's so amazing.
Well, the first time she just took the book.
Yeah.
And the second time she asked that.
Yeah.
I do find it funny though where they had the joke in there where blue-haired girl is supposed to, like, she finds that they are doing this rare collectible thing
Yeah.
where you have to buy a certain object and you
Yeah.
get it, and she's like, oh, it's time to get a part-time job now.
Yeah. That's the reason I got a part-time
And
job.
then just
on one of the
actually
songs.
gets a part-time job.
I mean, if I was into anime back when I was young, I'd be like, oh, I need to pay for anime now, here I go.
And I was like 12. I was like, man, I need to start working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Blue-haired girl's amazing.
Oh, I like this episode more than episode 1.
Yeah, probably.
I
me
found
too.
it more interesting. I found it funnier. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't like food that much, where I just
Yeah.
like them talking about it. I mean, it was funny at first, and then it felt like it grew old
Yeah.
really quick. So
I like
Yeah,
them both
cool.
about the same personally.
I remembered the first episode better than the second episode.
Yeah.
I feel
Yes.
like I might have seen the first episode more times.
I
don't
think we
know. I
tried
think
watching it like twice or something
yeah.
like that.
So I might have seen that like 3 times. So I knew that one much better. So rewatching this one, it was like, oh yeah. Once it started, it was like I remember some of it, but
And then the ending to this one, the "Hello, Luckies," and she's like yelling at him for doing his line wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's like, I'll play the teacher. And then she's like stumbling through her words and just like totally monotone.
Yeah.
And then he gives her a line. And she's just like, terrible. I didn't feel it here.
Feel it in the heart. You need to speak to the soul.
Soul.
It's just like,
And his
what's
thing
wrong
was
with
just
you?
like, I studied hard or something.
Yeah.
I've been doing this since I was a toddler.
Yeah.
I do like that whole bit where it's like
Yeah.
that career-long like child actress, and it's
Yeah.
just like she's doing something that really doesn't matter, so she doesn't really give a crap about it.
Yeah.
I
It was
find it
pretty
funny.
Come
great.
think, my mom's been buying expensive handbags recently.
Yeah. Yeah. Just has all these problems and is like super angry and obnoxious.
What I remember of the next episode gets really good for her like last part. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be funny.
Mm,
I'm excited for it.
yeah, I'm hyped. I'm
I am
excited to
looking
watch
forward.
new episodes that we haven't seen before.
Heck
too.
yeah! I feel like we'll actually do better reviews at that point.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
'Cause
new.
then we'll be like, this was hilarious.
Yeah,
We didn't get past episode 4 last time, I don't think.
we didn't get
Yeah.
past episode 3.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're going to episode
I don't think
4.
there's any scenes of blue-haired girl at her job yet,
No, not yet.
and I feel like that's
I
probably
want
gonna
to see
be
the face she made when she made him
Yeah.
laugh really
that's
hard.
that's the
That-
whole bit.
Yeah, I know, but I still want to see it.
I wonder if they'll come back to it later.
Mm,
like, I
maybe.
wonder how long the like jokes will
It
overlap
is
to each other.
interesting. So there's like a whole art form to be a comic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of have like the stand-up comics that have their whole show routine,
Mhm.
and then there's comedy shows where they can write out a joke for multiple episodes.
Yeah.
and it's cool seeing them work it out.
Mhm.
Well, I do believe that Lucky Star was actually based off of a 4-thing coma.
Really?
Yeah, I do believe.
Oh, that's interesting.
I do believe so, which
Hmm.
is kind of why it's the style it's in.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting because it's not like a sitcom where you like see people like living in a house together or whatever, and then
Right.
the
Yeah.
different interactions. It's just like it's a little bit like that because there's like they're just friends at school, but there's no like trials or like anything that they overcome. Like there's no real like story to it. It's just
Right.
them like living out their lives. It's like
Trying
the
and
most,
homework is pretty.
it's the most
pretty
like
challenging.
slice of life like thing.
Yeah.
It's the most not slice of life thing.
Yeah.
That feels like a slice of life because it's like it's so normal.
Yeah.
That it doesn't have any of the slice of life like cliches.
Yeah, there's no
to
drama in it.
Yeah.
It's just like the weird comedy thing
Yeah.
that's going on.
which is cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I obviously like it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The opening is fire.
Oh man, the opening's so good.
The opening is amazing.
I don't know how my brother hates the opening.
Oh, it's so good.
We need
Let's
time
go
to
get
a
cherry
chair.
pie.
Yeah.
We need time to a chair and just put him in front of a TV and on it, have it on repeat.
Dude, we can like do that and like, no,
The
no.
opening is
Give me the
good.
numbers.
Just like talking about one thing, and then the next line is like, "Let's eat cherry
Yeah.
pie."
Oh, we could do the whole like Keanu Reeves thing where they bury him up to his head, put the phone in front of him.
Yes.
Yes,
I like that idea.
that's how I'm gonna get you to watch Evangelion as well.
I no longer like this idea.
Right up to the chin.
No.
Foo. You'll have to watch through the series.
I'll eat the sand out of my way.
But
I'll have a gag on you. It's okay.
put the scene of him. But you'll just put the scene of like them in the elevator from the original series and him holding like the one kid just
Yeah.
on loop.
Yeah.
So it's just like, when is it gonna end? It just
I can use my
doesn't
beard as a
stop.
shovel.
If you dig your way out of the hole with a beard, I'll give you $1 million.
I'll do it if you're putting me in front of that.
Oh, that's great.
That's amazing.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for the show.
I do
right?
believe so, yes.
All right. Cool.
So, let's see. Does anyone have any final words here?
Evangelion is awesome. I'm glad it's done though because it's actually like the first series I get to say I've completed.
Completed. Nice.
It's like the actual only series that's like we're done now.
Yeah.
Alright.
Made in Abyss is still super wholesome.
All right.
I'm totally gonna watch it and probably protest that claim.
So, where can they find you at?
They
Well-
can find Boom at SirBoom9 on Twitter.
And they can find Louise at KBW Author
Yes.
at KBW Author on Twitter.
And you can find my YouTube channel that's just KBW.
All right. YouTube's just KBW?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's just
Oh,
KBW.
okay.
Just
Does it have like the whole like K dot?
no, it's
Okay.
just capital letters KBW.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that. So
Yeah,
I didn't
if
know
you
did
search
the whole
that
hyphen
with
thing.
like anime, I'll pop up.
Yeah,
I'm like super popular. I've got like 71 subscribers.
Nice.
yeah.
Just killing 73 subscribers. Let's go.
Oh, I was hoping you would stay at 69 though.
I know.
You should, like, make them unfollow you.
I'm gonna
My-
find those followers and like threaten them.
My Demon Slayer
To
Explained
unsub.
badly video is really close to being my most viewed video now.
Nice,
Nice.
So, not quite there, but it's close.
awesome. Hey, we have a cool YouTube achievement.
We do have a
Yeah.
YouTube now, don't we?
Yeah, we got our first comment.
Oh,
Yeah,
sick.
and it wasn't just a hate comment.
Whoa.
They actually just commented on the.
What did they
episode.
say?
Yeah, what did they say?
Oh, they just said that Sony canceled Anime Labs, so they're scared that they're going to cancel Crunchyroll as well. But it's actually cool because they actually were just commenting on the episode.
Yeah, they actually
Yeah,
like listened
that's
and
cool.
commented.
Yeah,
That's pretty neat.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
I
So
like that.
let's
Thank you
go.
for whoever did that.
Yeah,
I
that's
forget their
amazing.
username. So
Epic.
We love you and we support you now.
Yeah. You're going far, kid.
You're
You're
going
going,
far, kid.
far.
oh, that's funny. The first commenter just gets sponsored by us.
We just back them throughout the rest of their life.
I don't care if you start the Fourth Reich. I'm
They're
back in
like-
it.
Oh, gee.
They're like, I need this job interview. I need somebody to like vouch for my kid. I can do it.
We're vouching for him.
Yeah, it's like I got accused of murder. I need a character. We've got you. We'll be your character witness.
Oh yeah. They can also find me. I forgot to mention this. They can find me on Look Behind You, which is another podcast.
It's a door.
Yeah, this podcast is about the paranormal and stuff like that. We just actually finished an episode about Bigfoot, so that
Nice.
should
Yeah,
be
and
fun.
your other episode was about Mothman.
Yeah.
And that episode was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Mothman? Do you think it's an alien or do you think it's just a person from the future?
I think it's, I mean, if it's real, I think it's either an angel or a demon.
Failed
Really?
government experiment.
I think it's either an angel that's trying to protect people from like
Yeah,
this thing
or a
happening, or it's a
demon.
demon that's like trying to cause the thing to happen.
Cool. We might have to discuss that theory in part 2.
Yeah.
I think
gonna
it's
be
a
interesting.
failed government experiment because it's a bunch of sightings have happened around those government places.
Yeah, right. We kind of go over that a little bit.
that
in the
that makes
episode,
sense
so.
too, because they're all like government like things.
Like genetical splicing between man and moth.
Right. I mean, there's a cryptid out there called the Goat Man. That's basically that. So.
Yeah, there's also the Jersey Devil.
The Jersey Devil is not a medical experiment. It's actually supposed to be an old time.
Yeah, the thing gave birth to a demon.
The thing, you mean the mom?
Yeah, the woman. Forgot those existed for a moment.
Well, you are a weeb, so
Yeah, that's fair. That is pretty fair.
yeah.
You're just like the anime ones with the big eyes and long hair. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
The thing I'm looking forward to, if the Mothman was a government genetical splicing, that means cat girls are a possibility.
Heck yeah.
So I'm going for that
So
right there.
Can you get
Hopefully
a
they're-
moth cat human mix? Then they can fly.
I feel like it'd try eating itself.
and then they would like, what if they like shed dust or whatever?
That'd be
No.
interesting.
Oh, speaking of that, I was standing in my house the other day and a freaking plane like flew right over my head because they're crop dusting the like neighbors.
Oh,
yard.
that's cool.
That's not a thing that a lot of people have happened to it. But where I live, sometimes there's planes that fly like right over your head because they're crop dusting.
That's on your property. You should shoot it down.
Yeah.
I heard an article one time that this farmer kept on shooting down this surveyor's company's drone because they kept on trying to survey the surrounding farm field, but this farmer kept on shooting down their drones.
That's amazing.
So they actually had to like I forget if they called the cops or if they just talked to the guy, but it was just like I think he shot down at least
That's
2
amazing.
drones.
Yeah.
It was great.
I wonder
do
if it was
that.
just like aliens.
Oh, I'd be like, you ain't surveying my gosh darn property.
It's like, sir, you called for us to do this.
Oh, right. I forgot about
All
that.
right.
Okay, I want you to come in person, not by no drone man.
All right, Pyrolus, where can they find you?
I can be found at Pyrolus2 on the Twitter.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Still doing your VTuber counseling sessions.
I don't know.
I see you comment on a lot of VTubers lately.
I comment on them occasionally. I do whenever I see them say they're taking a break. I'm like, you do that. You take that break. You deserve it.
I find
you
it
go,
funny.
man.
I watch VTubers more than you do. At least I think so, unless you're a hidden VTuber fan.
No, I haven't watched a single VTuber.
But yet you talk to them more on Twitter than I do, which is funny.
And they respond quite a bit, honestly.
Yeah, they do.
But no,
That's
in
great.
I know how hard it is to like be overworked and stuff like that, especially when you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
So I'm all for people taking mental breaks, and I'm wanna, even though I don't watch them, I want to make sure that at least someone is full supportive of them.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah.
that's my goal there.
Very wholesome.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I think that's about it.
I believe so. Yes.
Did we mention the at the Baka-Talk email?
I was hoping Pyrolus was going to do that because he's technically hosting it.
I forgot, but at Baka-Talk@gmail.com. Ask Baka-Talk at gmail.com.
Baka-Talk
go.
at gmail.com.
Where can they find us on Twitter?
Talk Baka. Talk hyphen Baka. Is it
No.
hyphen? No, it's just Talk Baka.
Yeah, just talk Baka.
Just talk Baka?
If
And
you
then-
are the leader of Dr. Pepper, please sponsor us.
Heck yeah.
and then
The,
on
the world leader, not just the CEO. Because we know there's a world leader.
Yes.
anchor.fm/Baka-Talk.
You can also
Yes.
Google Baka-Talk and you'll find literally everything we're on.
Yeah. Just Google Baka-Talk. Screw all these other things. Nobody's going to search this specific thing. They're just going to search Baka-Talk on Google and we're going to show up and then they're going to find all our places and they're going to love us forever.
And soon will
Honestly,
be
that's
Baka-Talk Studio when we're
mostly how people do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, should we just end it by saying that Gregoire is now evil? And that's it? We're going to end? Let's
Yep.
go. Bye.
Yep.
All right.
She's
All
evil.
right.
She's evil now.
All right.
Jam meow.
Jam meow.
See y'all later.
Foo, foo, foo.